supporters are. Happy it is a tree of a life to them that hold fast to it. All of its supporters are happy. Shalom, 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 shalom. I tried in Hebrew, Eitz Chaim hi lemachazikim ba. Eitz Chaim hi lemachazikim ba v'tomcheha. Me'ushar Eitz Chaim hi lemachazikim ba v'tomcheha. Me'ushar. Shalom, 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 shalom. Shabbat shalom to you, Cantor Viva.
And Shabbat shalom to you. This is one of my favorite holidays because as a cantor, you kind of save your voice and you make sure to take very good care of yourself so that you can get through the enormous feat that is the High Holy Days. And then by the time you get to Simchat Torah, you just get to belt out all of your Torah favorites. And usually by tomorrow morning, we have no voice, but that's okay. I will still have a voice because we have a beautiful bat mitzvah in the morning. But I certainly hope that you will belt them out with me from where you are. This one is one of my favorites. Sisu v'simchu v'simchat Torah. It goes like this. Sisu v'simchu v'simchat Torah. Utnu kavod la Torah. 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 Let's sing. Sisu v'simchu v'simchat Torah. Utnu kavod la Torah. 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 And I'm thinking of the one I was going to segue into, Rabbi Brett, is Eilech Hamda Libi.
You guessed read my mind.
Okay, let's do it together. Husana ve'alna titalem is how fast can you say that? So try it with me. It goes like this. Eilech Hamda Libi. Husana ve'alna titalem. Eilech Hamda, Hamda Libi, Husana ve'alna titalem. Eilech Hamda, Hamda Libi, Husana ve'alna titalem. Eilech Hamda Libi, Husana ve'alna titalem. Eilech Hamda, Hamda Libi, Husana ve'alna titalem. Eilech Hamda, Hamda Libi, Husana ve'alna titalem. So I imagine you are thinking and feeling what I am thinking and feeling, which is this all sounds so much better with a big klezmer band. And I have really good news for you that tonight we are very excited that our own 65th Street Klezmorim, under the direction of Sean Goodman, they are back and they have prepared for you a fantastic distanced recording. So we are going to get to do that. Rabbi Jordana said to me so beautifully and perfectly the other day, it's not Simchat Torah without klezmer music, and I completely agree. And you have come to the right place, my friend, because we have an in-house band. So Rabbi Brett, do you want to take us through one more?
I was thinking of one more, actually, that we might be able to say Shabbat Shalom to, but the words are Kiva Moed, which means there is a holiday approaching, and it's also Nigun, so I hope you'll join with me. La 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la ya la la, ya la 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 ya la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la, ya la la ya la la la, ya la 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 la. Kiva Moed, Kiva Moed, Kiva Moed, Kiva Moed. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la ya la la, ya la 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 ya la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la, ya la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom. Cantor Viva, thank you so much for this wonderful Torah medley. We are feeling Torah in our souls. It's so wonderful to have staff and clergy here. Shabbat shalom to all of you. Shabbat shalom, Rabbi Cherna Reader.
Hi guys, it is so nice to have this Shabbat with you. I could not agree more with my colleague, Rabbi Brett, about how wonderful it is to have staff and clergy and all of us together for this Shabbat. It really does warm my heart and make me so very happy that we are able to gather in this way. So how many of you were able to get outside this week at all? Love to see a show of hands. Were you able to be outside or go for walks or dwell in your sukkahs or eat or drink in your patios or sukkahs or anything like that? Well, I really, really hope that you were able to, because it was an incredibly gorgeous weather this week and it made it so lovely, such a joyous way for us to be able to be outside and connect with each other in this way. I know it was such a bummer that this year we were not able to physically gather for sisters in the sukkah, because this was actually warm enough when we could have done that. But hopefully next year for Sukkot, we will have equally beautiful, beautiful weather, and we will be able to gather together in so many ways together next year. But I really enjoyed being able to be outside dwelling this week, and I hope that was something that many of you were able to do as well. So tonight we move on to our next holiday. Tonight we celebrate Simchat Torah. And tonight we read the very, very last lines of the Torah, the last lines in the book of Deuteronomy. And immediately we start reading the Torah again. We start at the very beginning, at the very first lines of Breshit. And I love this custom, not only because it shows the importance of Torah in our lives, but also because it gives us the opportunity to read Torah with fresh eyes. We get to read the stories again and we hear them differently. We get to learn new things and we can get to connect to our text and each other in new ways. Tonight we begin that process together. Tonight we get to honor the learning of our past year and begin the process of our learning together again this year. And I really can't wait to find out what we are going to discover as we learn together in the weeks and months ahead. So to begin our process of welcoming Shabbat together tonight, we are going to be honored by hearing from Rebecca Steingold. She is called to the Torah tomorrow morning for her bat mitzvah. She will teach us all tomorrow, and it is such an honor and pleasure to have her teach us and her family join us for services tonight. So Rebecca, I turn it over to you. I believe you have a reading to share with us about the honor and the joy of lighting the Shabbat candles. So Rebecca, if you are available, I would love to hand the service over for you to share some words of wisdom about the Shabbat candles with us now.
As the Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Beautiful. Thank you, Rebecca. And in this moment, if you have candles with you, we invite you to go ahead and light with us. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Rebecca,
Amen.
we are so looking forward to hearing you chant tomorrow. We are thrilled that this day has come. Rebecca was looking forward to a bat mitzvah earlier, and then because of the whole world being upside down, we have pushed to this date, and we are so, so excited that we get to be with you and your family tomorrow, and we know that you're going to be fantastic. So mazal tov to you and your whole family. I invite you in this moment to please join with us in the Kiddush as we celebrate the sweetness of tonight and the sweetness of the year ahead. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahavahu v'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit ki hu yom techila lemikra kodesh zecher letziat mitzrayim kivanu v'charta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat l'chaim.
L'chaim, Shabbat Shalom. It is so wonderful to taste of this great, great joy that is not only Rebecca Steingold and her family's joy, but also our congregation's joy of being together, this moment of Simchat Torah, our celebration together. Let's join together in some words of praise from the beginning of our service. We sing Zamru L'Adonai Bechinor. Let us take up all of our instruments and sing praises with them together. Zamru L'Adonai, Zamru L'Adonai Bechino, Zamru L'Adonai Bechinor the very sea and all within it thunder its praise. The world and its inhabitants clap their hands together. The mountains sing joyously together. We call all the forces of nature to join in this joy that we feel as we welcome the Sabbath bride. Sabbath bride enter in peace and bring peace with her. Roi v'shalom, ateret bala, gam b'simcha, utzola, tov emuneh, gam segula.
So I don't know about you, but I sometimes feel like we're in a place now when we are just divided in so many different ways. We're sometimes split along political lines or on racial lines or on sillier things like sports teams or whatever it is. We sometimes are just divided into so many different categories. There are so many things that can separate us into these distinct groups. But it is important to remember that there are also so many things that connect us as people and as Jews. One of those things that I think crosses any line of connections and really helps us keep that connection and that unity is the Shema. The Shema helps us focus on our core beliefs and our values. It is about these things, these connections that transcend any sort of difference, but really help us emphasize and focus on our unity. It helps us not only think about our own spirituality and our own connection with God, but it also is about the link that we have with our community and with other people. So even though we are separated into our own homes, we are definitely connected as our community through so very many different ways. But one of the ways is through saying the Shema and the Ve'ahavta. And hopefully this connection will help us keep connected with each other and with our prayers and with our core values and with Judaism for many, many years to come. So let us continue now with the Shema and the Ve'ahavta.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Adonai Baruch Shem Kevod, Shem Kevod, Malchuto, Leolam, Leolam Vaed. Please join me. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בהם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
So I want to share with you now a reading from Mishkan Tefillah, an alternative version of the Mi Hamocha that we will say before, that I will share before we do the Mi Hamocha. Sing the song of men and women, joined in understanding and respect. The song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come. The song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content. Her soldiers home to leave no more. The song of a world redeemed, a song of peace. Let us continue now with our song of peace and hope, the Mi Hamocha.
Mi Hamocha Bailim Adonai, Mi Kamocha Nedar Bakodesh Nora Tehilot Osei Fele Nora Tehilot Osei Fele Malechutecha Ra'u Vanecha Bokei Ayam Lifnei Moshe Miriam Ze Eli Anu ve'ameru Adonai Yimloch Leolam Vaed, Adonai Yimloch Leolam Vaed. One of my favorite moments in every evening service, every Ma'ariv service that we have, is this moment right between the Mi Chamocha and Hashkivenu. Mi Chamocha offers us a chance to say, who is like you, O God? And the answer is none. None are like you. And in a good musical setting, you can hear the waves. You can hear the rocking of the sea as our people cross to freedom. And then hopefully we are lulled into the state that we need to be in for Hashkivenu, which asks God to place a Sukkot Shalom, a sukkah of peace over us. And I can think of no more appropriate prayer for this week in particular and for this time in the world. Please join me. Oh, guide my steps and help me find my way. I need your shelter now. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps, and help me make this day a song of praise to you. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Oh, guide my steps and help me find my way. I need your shelter now. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps, and help me make this day a song of praise to you. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps.
Thank you so much for that beautiful prayer, Cantor Viva. It is a beautiful moment for us to feel held in one another's embrace, to feel like this community is one that can lift us up. And the truth is that I think your clergy is very, very sad this evening, because Simchat Torah is truly, for us, it marks kind of the end of the High Holy Days. And it is an opportunity for us to just be a little silly and let loose a little bit and dance. And the words of Torah are very important too. These words have always held me up. This is the moment in Torah that I find the most meaning in reading it every year. And that is the moment that we go from reading, as as Rabbi Jordana mentioned at the beginning of the service, the very end of Torah, where we say Moses dies knowing that his people will enter the land of Israel, but not entering. And then we immediately begin again with Breshit, God's creation of the world. There is a connective tissue that happens between those two thoughts when we read them in close proximity together, and when we are together, we're able to stretch the Torah scrolls out, and you can see the beginning of the text actually touching the end of the text, as if to say that we are constantly on this journey from a recognition of the beauty of creation all around us to the movement towards the promised land, but we never quite get there, and every year we try to get a little bit closer. So we're so pleased to have this opportunity to share this Torah reading with you, to have you join in it, but I am a little sad also that we can't all be holding those Torah scrolls together, that wrapping all of our children inside the scroll quite literally is such a powerful metaphor on Simchat Torah. We will say at the end of the reading that we are strengthened together by this reading, and so we hope that it is so.
I'm going to begin with the bracha, the blessing for the Aliyah. So I hope you will all join me. If we were, as Rabbi Brett says, in person, we would all be doing this Aliyah together. So, Baruch hu et Adonai hamivorach. Baruch Adonai hamvorach leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen. ולא קם נביא עוד בישראל כמשה, אשר ידעו אדוני פנים אל פנים. לכל התותות והמופתים אשר שלחו אדוני לעשות בארץ מצרים, לפרעה ולכל עבדיו ולכל ארצו, ולכל היד החזקה ולכל המורא הגדול, אשר עשה משה לעיני כל ישראל. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה. Amen.
It is my honor to share some translation of those verses of Torah that were just chanted so beautifully. And they are. And never again did another prophet arise who was like Moses, who knew God face to face in that way. And all of the signs and symbols and things that God sent to Moses against Pharaoh and all of those who worked for him, and really the whole country. And the strong, very strong hands and the mighty power that Moses had, that was shown, that was displayed in front of all of Israel. And what's remarkable about that is it really, our Torah ends on this incredible high note honoring Moses and all of the things that Moses did, but it's also talking about us, as Rabbi Brett alluded to, about, the way that we continue to be part of this tradition and continue to be the people who we are as we walk in the world. And what's especially one of my favorite traditions about finishing a book of Torah is we always say very specific words. We say, Hazak, Hazak, Venit Hazek, which means be strong, and we will be strengthened. And I really believe that is true, especially now. We are getting stronger. We are continuing to be strengthened, and especially when we connect back in with community and with Torah. So pay attention to those words. That you will be hearing them later tonight in a very special video that is coming, but really is an honor to end the Torah with all of you together tonight. And what is really lovely is we are about to start it all over again. So back to you, Cantor.
So in this very moment, we would be rolling all the way backwards, or perhaps forwards, depending on how you look at it. Or maybe we would have a pre-rolled scroll, right? But in this very moment, that is what you are picturing, the circle of life. Everything that ends must begin again. And that's where we find ourselves right now. And I will say that I see Mr. Goldstein and I know that Cantor Roger are on here, and I don't have a Torah, but I promise I'm chanting without vowels. Okay, guys, I promise. So please join me as we say the bracha together. Baruch hu et Adonai hamvorach, Baruch Adonai hamvorach leolam va'ed, Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher בחר בנו מכל העמים ונתן לנו את תורתו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה. בראשית ברא אלוהים את השמיים ואת הארץ, והארץ הייתה תוהו ובוהו וחושך על פני תהום, ורוח אלוהים מרחפת על פני המים. ויאמר אלוהים יהי אור, ויהי אור. וירא אלוהים את האור כי טוב, ויבדל אלוהים בין האור ובין החושך. ויקרא אלוהים לאור יום, ולחושך קרא לילה, ויהי ערב ויהי בוקר יום אחד. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה. Amen.
What beautiful chanting. I love the first part of the Torah. This section really connects to me and something. So if you saw my lips moving along chanting, it wasn't that I was Cantor Aviva's Gabbai. I just love this part. But it's better you heard her than hear me. But you get to hear me give the English living translation of it. So as I read through the text and wrote from the Hebrew how I would translate this. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Before this, before is not in there, but before this, the earth was tohu vavohu. What fabulous words to describe something chaotic. It has not been picked up by the teenagers as this cool word to use, but tohu vavohu, basically meaning chaotic and unformed. And darkness was over this chaos, the waters in a sense that were just chaos. And God's Ruach, the Spirit, glided over the waters. And God said, Yehi or, let there be light. And you all can say this with me, and there was light. And God saw how good this light was, and God divided the light from the darkness. Remember, before it was chaotic and unformed, so God not only created this light, but divided it. And then God called light Yom, or day, and the darkness God called night, or Lila. There was evening, there was morning, a first day. And from that first day forward, we've technically always counted a day from the evening to the morning until sundown again. That is a day, and that first day.
Yashar Koach, Rabbi Roxanne, that was a beautiful reading, and we would never deny ourselves the opportunity to hear you chant Torah or translate it for us. So,
reading Torah would be tohu, no, chanting, not reading. Chanting would be tohu vavohu, chaotic and unformed.
I like the idea of getting to see if we can get this to catch on with the teenagers. So tohu, man, it was tohu, vohu, man, it was really vohu. Well,
Becca Steingold, you are on. You are in charge of getting tohu vavohu to be the cool word.
If anyone can do it, it is Becca. I know that that's true. Thank you. And in lieu of rising to put the Torah back in the Ark, I do have a few thoughts to share with you on this Erev Simchat Torah. It has been profoundly disturbing to spend this week in front of a television screen. Once again, we are seemingly confronted with a stark and dramatic choice. There are two profoundly different worldviews that are colliding into each other as the cosmic forces that they are, leaving destruction and chaos in their wake. We as a society do not seem to be getting better. We are getting worse. The dominant worldview, splashed across cable news, tells us of impending doom. The other side, they say, is hell-bent on our destruction, and on most of the television stations we are to believe that that destruction has already begun. The ideals that once inspired us to meet one another in the town square are hidden from view, as our leadership stokes fears, ancient cabals, and dangerous tropes. Your words have power, we scream to them, but there seems to be no one taking enough of a breath in their own diatribe to even listen. As our American COVID epidemic enters its 8th month, the numbers continue to spike. And not only do we seem resistant to wearing masks as a precaution, we insist on politicizing them as if the impending election was somehow more important than ending this devastating and tragic pandemic. It seems only with retrospect that we will be able to see what a mess we have created. This is the third night of protests by ultra-Orthodox Jews in Borough Park in Brooklyn, a neighborhood that we have visited in the past many times with our confirmation class trip to New York. In the past several years, visits to neighborhoods like this one seem like an excursion to another planet, certainly to an unfamiliar religious faith. While these radical groups are admirable for their conviction and the ways in which they care for one another in an insular way, today we are seeing played out before our eyes and on national news the deep and dark chasm that exists between our understanding of Judaism and Jewish values and theirs. Dina Malchuta Dina, the law of the land, is considered as important as Torah law. We engage in civil society mipnei darchei shalom in order to increase peace in the world. Kol Yisrael Aravim Zeh Bazeh, all Jewish people, Orthodox and Reform and secular and the rest of us, are responsible for one another. There can be no doubt that public health guidelines are a critical way in which we show our responsibility to one another, to Jews and to non-Jews alike. We are all neighbors. We are all family. We are supposed to be guided by loving kindness and not selfish, tribal, and isolationist concerns. If I am only for myself, what am I? We look with embarrassment. We look with trepidation at our Jewish family members who seem to have such a different understanding of these texts. Their worldview is profound and it is different. But tonight we are supposed to embrace the alternative. We are supposed to celebrate. We say goodbye to the festival of Sukkot and enter into celebration of Simchat Torah. And there's one command in both of these holidays that transcends all others. We are obligated to celebrate these days with joy. It is a challenging mitzvah. It is not easily enforced. Who are we to demand not only that our congregation, our entire society observes the rituals and recites the right verses and lights the right number of candles, but also that we feel joy while we do it? How do any of us compel one another to feel a certain way at a given point in time? Well, Sukkot is called Zman Simchatenu, the season of our joy. In fact, we are taught that the sukkah itself symbolizes joy, and a specific joy. On this holiday, we celebrate the gathering of friends and family together. And the more people we can cram under that canopy of leaves when we don't have to be 6 feet apart, the better. We imagine in the liturgy one enormous sukkah which might provide shelter and gather all of us together, all of the people on earth, unified by this harvest holiday of gratitude. Can you picture that? Do you feel the joy of it? In the Kritchever household, we have eaten in our sukkah every day. We play games huddled under blankets to warm us against the cold. We sit and we read. We enjoy the outdoors, the beautiful leaves changing in the sun. But more importantly, we enjoy one another's company, and that is the joy of Sukkot. I hope next year we can all join together under the Kritchever Sukkah, just as we found a way to be together this year in our cars under the IHC Sukkah. So Simchat Torah actually translate directly to the joy of Torah. And there is a moment each and every year when we begin Simchat Torah. We've gathered in the sanctuary, said a few opening blessings, and then our wonderful klezmer band begins to play. And we all begin to get up on our feet and we start to dance. And it feels forced at first, every time. It's not the usual way that we behave in the synagogue, unless you're Marcia Goldstein, who wants to dance in the synagogue every chance that she gets. But this is the theme for the night. And even if we can't be together, finding that joy, the joy of the Torah, expressing it with song and dance, that is our responsibility. That is the mitzvah for tonight. It is our obligation to each other, to our community, to find the joy, to not let this oppressing force of negativity keep us from that joy. As tempting as it is, I pray that we don't take the bait of those who would peddle mistrust, dishonesty, exaggeration, and hyperbole. Instead, let's together take a look around and count our blessings. This beautiful and rich heritage of ours at the top of the list. So we've prepared a short reminder of the joy that we bring to one another on Simchat Torah most of the time. I hope this video will put a smile on your face, perhaps even have you up on your feet at home, ready to join us on the virtual dance floor.
We have come from near and far to raise our voice in song. And the more we join in the refrain, the more we feel strong. Chazak, Chazak, Veni Chazek. There is a power in this place and time. It shapes the rest of our lives. When we return each year, we find a truth we can't deny. Be strong and let us strengthen one another. Be strong, let us celebrate our lives. Be strong, let us strengthen one another. Chazak, Chazak, Veni Chazek. Chazak, Chazak, Veni Chazek. As we sing, we link ourselves to those who came before. And we're one with all those yet to come. Our strength, it will endure. Be strong, let us strengthen one another. Be strong, let us celebrate our lives. Be strong, let us strengthen one another. Chazak, Chazak. Strong, let us strengthen one another. Be strong, let us celebrate our lives. Be strong,
Thank you so much for that, Rabbi Brett. Thank you for your words, the message for us as we go forth, and also for that video, putting together some wonderful memories of times that we could be together, but also just showing that strength and resilience of the IHC community. And we know we will be back together again for Simchat Torah, and I hope that we all promise to ourselves tonight that the next Simchat Torah, when we can all be there, we will be there dancing with the Torahs. And you did mention dancing and Marcia Goldstein, and since Marcia, and I see her peeking in, since Marcia, my predecessor, a longtime IHC gift. She was a gift to us all at IHC. I do believe that today's her birthday. So I'm sure she is dancing today. So happy birthday to Marcia. So as we celebrate this joy, we also realize that the thoughts of our loved ones, our friends, our neighbors, those who are in need of healing are always with us. And even though we have these immense times of joy, we always carry that sense of love and care and questioning that comes with loving someone who is ill. So while we always carry them, our prayers now turn to that time of the Misha Berach for healing, our prayer for healing. I invite you to put names of those who you might be thinking of in the chat. And this is whether they are in need of healing of body, healing of spirit, or healing of mind. We pray that they will move through their illness and pain and find comfort and healing. The names we are thinking of in our congregation at this time. I hope you will add them in the chat. I can't find my sheet right now. I apologize, but I will add the names of Rabbi Brett. Do you have them that you might want to add right now? I'm so sorry, but I don't want to spend time looking through my sheets.
No, not at all. I do have this for Misha Berach. The names that we have on our list that we are checking in with this week are Celia Katz, Andy Reid, Bill Romer, Neil Ginsberg, Lori Pop Moss, Andy Zokar, Risa Friedman, Jerry and June Langer, Harris Jones, Scott Bowers, and Nancy Bonham.
Thank you so much, and I apologize. Betty Catt, Harold Pope, Deanna Reeledge, Frank Weddle, Naomi Kaufman, Randy Cantor, Brian Shelton, Judy Yoakum, Megan McLaughlin, Dennis Gelbart, Javi Lave, Goldstein, Laura Holtz, Laura Rule, Zach, Mike, Alicia Berman, Bill Meyer, Tracy Zitlow, Wendy Barish, Andy Kazar, Jerry Langer, June Langer, Harris Jones, Janet Strasberg. Their thoughts are with us as we join together in our prayers so that everyone knows we are offering our words together so that no one may stand alone in their pain, and we are together offering these words up to God.
Those who sow in tears will reap in joy.
Thank you so much. So our time now as we turn to interesting things going on in the congregation. I hope that you have had a chance to look at your IHC e-blast and come to the website regularly to check out different information. Please find everything that we are doing on IHC Online. You can find it by day or look up different areas to find areas of interest for you. And immense gratitude to Sonia Cantor, who gets everything from all of the different staff members and puts it together so beautifully. So we are grateful to you, Sonia. Tonight, we hope that following this service, if you are ready and willing to join us in Wheel of Torah, I hope we can promise you a good and fun time, but if you've never seen the clergy play Wheel of Torah before, we have to see when it will be too, but Cantor Aviva worked very hard on putting together Wheel of Torah, and so we hope that we can have fun together, another way to just celebrate Torah together, even though we cannot be together. If that is wonderful for you for the evening and enough, that's great. If it's not, there's Music in Bloom at 8:30. You can read more about that on the IHC website and the program that we are a part of. Then tomorrow we have Torah study, the bat mitzvah of Rebecca Steingold, and we continue on with wonderful offerings throughout the week. So please check in on those. You'll also note an important thing about students who have graduated from high school that are either at college, in the military, or just starting out on their own. We would love to know their addresses. We at IHC, we have a wonderful group who puts together things for them if you would like that being sent to them, or just trying to stay in touch with them. So please look for that in the e-blast. Also, as I'm sure you realize, there's an election coming up. And IHC is 100% voting congregation, which means it doesn't matter to us how you vote. We just want you to vote. So please make a plan to vote. Make sure that you have time to stand in the line or send in your absentee ballot, but it's just important that we all get out that vote. And those are the things happening at IHC right now. Please check out the website to find out more. And we turn now our thoughts to our loved ones who have gone before us. And I invite you in the chat to add the names of people you might be thinking of for Yisker or who are in the period of Shiva or Shloshim. In our congregation, we are marking the period of Shiva for Michael Hans Pasco, the cousin of Jeff Cohen. And we are in the period of Shloshim for Joyce Romer, wife of Bill Romer, Leonard Lenny Rubenstein, the husband of Bobby Rubenstein, Maxine Cohen, the aunt of Larry and Donna Cohen, Franklin Frank Miroff, the husband of Susan Maisel Miroff, and Alan Kleinman, the father of Adam and Christina Kleinman. We are marking the yahrzeits of the following individuals: Florence Ehrenstein, Rose Arkush, Arthur Barrett, Joseph Bassler, Paula Berenbaum, Adria Bergen, Margaret Bliss, Edith Bodner, Edith Bottingheimer, Frida Buchholz, Charlie Bernstein, Irving Cohen, Harriet Cooler, Charlene Cox, Gertrude D., Edna Engel, Saul Eschowski, Jacob Frankel, Sylvia Frisch, Pamela Giles, William Glass, Julian Glazer, Gladys Goldstein, Mamie Goodman, Joe Hantman, Christopher Hardesty, Elaine Heller, Ernest Hepner, Charles Herman, Julie Hilton, Edward Kaplan, Tess Karsh, Robert Klein, Samuel Kopolov, Marvin Lasky, Robert Lichtman, Ida Likovsky, Leonard Lurvy, Robert Monat, Jesse Mosler, Ruth Okun, Yandel Okun, Emma Ostren, Fusako Penner, Mildred Rodenberg, Fred Romer, Hilda Seidman, Claire Solomon, Sylvia Sim, Bessie Spitzberg, William Stifler, Georgia Strachan, Emily Thomas, Sydney Turetsky, Bernard Vaprin, Harry Vogel, Isidore Weinberg. We also add the names in our chat. Thornton Scoop Saferstein, Betty Anna Lewick, Jim Mullen, Judy Lichtenberg, Dee Joyce. The thoughts of all of these individuals are with us. Rhoda Schoof Robinson as well. The thoughts of all of these individuals are with us as we join together in the words of the Mourner's Kaddish. Yit kadal v'yit kadash shmei rabbah, b'alma divrach hirte b'almich malchute, v'chayechon uv'yomechon, uv'chaye d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kari v'imru, amen. Yehi shmei rabbah mevorach le'olam omei amaya, yit barach v'yishtabach v'yit pa'ar v'yit traman v'yit naseh, v'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal shmei de kudsha brichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushpachata v'nechamata, da'amiran v'alma v'imru, amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. And we add our collective wish for the inhabitants of our entire world. And we say together, v'al kol yoshvei tevel, for all who dwell on earth. Zikronam livracha, may their memories be for a blessing.
Amen. And as Rabbi Brett said, it is our role this evening to fulfill the mitzvah of turning from perhaps pain or mourning or even fear or anxiety to celebration. It is within us, deep within us, to turn now and celebrate as a community, having been led so beautifully in that video where it was just such an emotional pleasure to see everyone dancing together. I am also very excited to share with you. Are you ready? It's time. This is the debut of our 65th Street Klezmorim distanced recording. And let me just say that if you've never done a distance recording on an instrument or singing, this is not easy. It takes a lot of time. It takes multiple headsets and devices. And I am incredibly grateful to Sean Goodman Royer, who is the director of the Klezmorim, and also to each and every one of my friends and our community members who are in this fantastic ensemble. So without further ado, we close this evening with Hava Nagila. Please sing along from where you are.
Wow.
Mazal tov to our amazing klezmorim. Thank you. And I hope each and every one of you looked at the glorious excitement on the screen. I hope you watched the kids dancing and you watched all of us swaying side to side. This is how we get through this. We get through this together. Thank you.
Amen to that. And thank you so much to our really, bar none, the best klezmer band on Meridian. I mean, clearly, they're fantastic. And I'm so glad that we got to hear you even more than once tonight. So thank you so much for that. We have a challah that is actually literally right out of the oven. Sierra, why don't you come on over? Hi. Sierra's wearing my favorite new shirt. Just wants you to know that equality is better than division. Not just for math, right? Oops, we're rolling away. Everyone, if you do have a challah, we hope that you will join us in this blessing. Get it out in front of the camera if you'd like. You want to sit down? Okay. So join together in blessing this challah and blessing our children as well. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. B'tei avon, everyone. Dig in the
And-
I think it's cinnamon sugar.
Before we unmute everyone and before we say goodnight, let me just say, please go fill your wine glass and come right back here. We only need about 2 minutes to set up our game and join us for Wheel of Torah. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Unmute yourself.
Shabbat shalom, everybody. Great
Shabbat
service.
shalom.
Great service. Thank
Shabbat
you.
shalom.
Shalom,
everybody.
Shabbat
Shalom.
Fantastic.
Happy
birthday,
Marsha
Goldstein.
Happy birthday, Marsha.
Happy
Birthday,
birthday.
Marsha.
Birthday, give us away.
Everybody be well.
Happy birthday, Marsha.
Hi, Ruthie.
In the distance, so the power in the area I'm hearing has been out for at least 2 hours at this point. But the real concern, obviously,
The movie star.
Shalom, Amelia.
Shalom all.
Shabbat Shalom. We'll give everybody 2 minutes, okay?
Ooh.
2. We'll be back in 2 and 2.
2 and 2.
And push its way on the shore, people are hoping that they can make it for another night.
Thank you so much.
So who are we listening to in the background? Anyone know?
You're all muted again. So we're going to give you 2 minutes. We'll be back in 2 and 2, as they used to say. So fill your kiddush cup and grab your friends, or we're all right here. We are going to get set up for our big game show.
And you can get in some quick studying if you're going to end up being on my team. There'll be teams, so get some studying in.
It's gonna be really fun.
Amber, I'm going to use 2 devices to do this. Yes. Going to get set up on the other one.
I don't know if I can play anymore because fresh out of the oven cinnamon sugar challah. I'm not going to be able to stop eating it long enough to speak to you all. I'm sorry.
I think that is you forfeiting, Rabbi. I'm just saying. I think you just forfeited your whole team.
All right. I'll stick around then.
I think you're going to they will be disappointed in you if you don't stay.
For you, Cantor, I'll stay.
Let me get set up here on another device. Hang on.
So Rabbi Brett, what kind of challah is next week?
So there was a program when I was at UCLA. I don't know if you remember this, Rabbi Jordan. It was called Challah for Hunger. It
Yeah,
actually started at another campus through Hillel,
yeah.
and it became a national program where they make challah, you sell it for $5, and all the money goes to help hunger in the city. The dough is all donated, and you got students every Thursday night to come and bake the stuff. They had so many flavors. We would try savory flavors. We do like sun-dried tomato and basil in fresh made challah. And all you got to do is you bake some of them Friday morning, so the aroma is there and they're fresh out of the oven. You take them to the center of the campus, and we would go through 50 or 100 or as many as we could make in 20 minutes. These college kids would, you make them really small, you can eat them on the way home. So we've tried all that at our house too. We usually rotate between chocolate chip and cinnamon sugar.
Nice.
Rabbi
Yeah.
Brett, I'm not joking, but if Challah for Hunger or another group sold them on the college campuses at about 2 a.m. on Saturday morning,
And
we
we're getting
probably need hundreds of them.
some great comments in the chat too. We're asking about Nutella. Other people want to know where they can get their own challah. So perhaps it's a business plan.
I think we still have the video making your own challah on our Facebook page and on our website. And Nutella would be easy to do. You just slather. I've made peanut butter and jelly challah, which is, you don't even have to add anything to it. You just eat it, and it's a whole nutritious meal all in one bite.
Have you done peanut butter and chocolate?
Is Nutella considered chocolate or nut?
For those who are allergic, it is definitely hazelnut.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, can everybody hear me?
Multiple times, Cantor Viva, and I have to tell you, this visual here is a little intimidating. I am a little nervous now about what lies before us. Did we lose Cantor Aviva?
No, I'm here, but I'm trying not to be echoey. So 1 second.
It is the voice of Hashem.
Yeah.
Bereshit bara Elohim.
The voice of God is talking to us.
I'm gonna wear my new mask during the game, I think.
Insert challah here.
Cantor, do you have more than one device? You're muted now. So we understand that these questions have not been given to us in advance. We are at the mercy of Cantor Aviva to be nice to us. We will play it as normal Wheel of Fortune